All right. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. Just now 9 o'clock. Let me get my light up a little bit brighter here. See my pale white skin. All right. Well, I apologize for not being here the last couple weeks. I had this terrible sinus infection. My left ear, I still can't hear out of. I don't know what's going on with it, but I'm feeling much better. So thank you everyone for all your well wishes and everything. And I apologize for not being here, but I'm here now, and that's all that really matters. And it's not like anyone's paying for this, so except that you're investing your time, and I appreciate that. And I want to invest my time into you guys. So let's cut to the chase and get this party started. Last time I was here with you guys a couple weeks ago, we had talked about overcoming objections while we're doing direct marketing. And I was just curious if anybody that's here today that was there last time or not. If you've done any direct marketing recently, I want to hear your stories. Uh, what the good things that came out of it, what were the negative things or the challenges you faced while you were doing that, and see if we can all kind of maybe learn and benefit from each other's experiences. So, does anybody have something they'd like to say about any of that right now? Don't be shy. We're all here to help each other out. Otherwise, I know I've got one person right here that's might be willing to share something. Why do you want to be a chicken? I have Jamie here in my office with me, and she's just now a new member of Signature Signings, and so I've been helping her out, and we've been doing some the mentoring and menteeing, and so she's been going out to like healthcare facilities and such, and working on that. Did you ever reschedule that meeting that you had?
It's for Thursday.
Okay, for Thursday. Good, good. Well, while you guys think about it for a moment, I just wanted to give a little shout out to a few people. Robert Dunfield, Tony Yeagerhorn, and Susan White Villarreal. I don't believe they're on this call right now, but they have all sent referrals over from their own personal direct business book of business for signings that they couldn't personally do, either because they were out of town or their commission had lapsed temporarily, or it was just too far and out of their way. And they were able to get those signings to us and our network, and we are able to share that with you guys. So thank you guys for the support of sharing those opportunities with all of us. And we hope to have more opportunities for all of you as we all start to come together and build this network together. So we've got 11 people in here. Nobody can tell me anything about some experiences they've had. I know last time
Thomas, you guys said this is kind of a little more higher tiered.
Got something to say on you?
Sorry, I can't hear you. So just make sure when you get started in, you submit 2 months of statements with it.
Hey, everyone, make sure you're muted if you're not gonna participate. All right, for me. I'll try and do what I can here, but somebody's speaking in the background. Trying to manage everybody here. All right. So I'm just gonna pick on somebody then. Nancy, you've got a nice, pretty picture up. Tell me a little bit about where you're at in this journey of being a loan signing agent. Nancy,
it's been pretty good actually.
Yeah. Okay, great.
So, no complaints.
Where are you coming from?
I'm in Ocala, Florida.
Oh, what? Huh?
Ocala, Florida.
Oh, okay. I thought you said to say California, Florida. I was like, wait, what? So actually, now that I recall, I just random that I picked on you because you're the one that talked to us last time about how your marketing efforts towards the retirement communities had panned out for you. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. So, and I've been there a few times this past week. So.
You invested $150, you said, for 6 months of
6 months.
advertising?
Yes.
How long ago was that?
That was 2 months ago.
And have you gotten your $150 worth of work back yet?
within the first month.
Easy, breezy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I did the same thing now that you had brought that up. I started going to the Del Webs online and getting the information about advertising in their newsletters. And it's not as cheap as $150, but I still feel like it'll be beneficial.
Yeah, I haven't looked into that yet.
You guys, do me a favor, make sure you're muted, please, if you're gonna come on here. Yeah. Miss Bell. Trying to.
I'm sorry, guys. That's Blue Angels flying over. I thought I was muted. My apologies. Let me try to mute.
No worries. The Blue Angels, I want to see that.
It's amazing. They fly over my house. I live right beside them, so they practice twice a week. And right now they're practicing. And I'm trying to mute my phone.
That's right. I got it right here. It's Penny, right? All right, we got you muted.
Thank you.
So where were we? Oh yes, I was telling you about how I had gone on to the different retirement communities here in the area and found some advertising in their digital and paper newsletters that they send out once a month, and it's actually fairly inexpensive, not $150 inexpensive for 6 months, but still pretty reasonable. So I definitely recommend you guys go check out those opportunities for the general notary work in your area, especially if you're brand new and you're still trying to build up your direct relationships with lenders and realtors and title and escrow companies. Has anybody done any direct marketing to lenders or realtors or escrow officers?
I have.
Tell us about it.
So I don't have, my camera's not working, so I apologize.
That's okay. We can hear you.
I did for a few local escrow, and I just decided to go all around. I got a little gift basket together, and I was only able to get like 2 signings from one place. And then I had an opportunity to work with a real estate agent who actually, she's the one who gave me my, you know how they say give you an opportunity to start somewhere? So she did.
Yeah.
My office happens to be right in the same area where she's at, and she sent 2 of her clients over to do their closings to me. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that introduced me to the escrow company that she works with directly. And
Right.
I've done since for them about 5, and I've gotten a couple of others from a few more. But
so
that's
it's that whole
also,
domino effect, you know?
It wasn't easy. They're still slow coming, but at least they know my name. And they've also referred to me general notary work. So that's
awesome.
kind of been a bit of a bonus.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations on that. You know what? Anything, if you're getting signings, that's something to celebrate. And, you know, I don't know how much your gift baskets were, but when I was out doing direct marketing, I was just taking in little $5 boxes of donuts or pastries from the local grocery store. In the afternoon, sometimes I'd take a goodie bag in with some 5-hour energy drinks or Snickers bars or, you know, just little things to hand out. Once you get in and they start to know who you are, it's just a matter of being persistent and being consistently persistent, or consistently consistent. Yes. Just showing your face at least once a week to these people, because the more they see you, the more they're going to start to think of you. In addition to that, you know, if there's a lot of other notaries walking into these offices, typically these escrow officers are going to remember whoever was the last person they saw, whoever the last person was that they kind of feel like they owe something to. You know, you may not think anybody owes you anything for bringing in a nice little cheap box of pastries, but they appreciate those gestures. And when you're doing things like that, they want to reciprocate the favor. And, you know, $175, $200 signing doesn't really equal the amount of the donuts or what pastries or whatever else it is, the gift baskets you're bringing in. But to them, it doesn't matter. They've got a job, they need it done, and they need someone like you to do it. And so it's not about, you know, giving equal gifts or whatever, you know, a $5 gift card every now and then after you're done with the signing. is a very gracious thank you, way to say thank you. Always remember to say thanks to your people for giving you these. And like you had mentioned, you know, you walked into one or two title companies, you talk to a real estate agent, and boom, they start opening doors to other real estate agents and other opportunities for you. That's huge. And it's really important to kind of build these relationships up and really let these people know that you are there to create value for their business. So first off, thank them for creating that relationship for you. And then secondly, I would start to try to really build on that relationship by asking, what can you do to help build their business? Excuse me, nose is itching. I've gone out, and I think I mentioned this before, to my real estate agents' open homes, the open house meetings that they do on the weekends, and I will sponsor their waters and their cookies, and I'll personally bring the real estate agent lunch, and sometimes their lenders there too. And you know, that's another great way to meet other real estate agents, because they're usually walking into those open homes with their clients in hopes of purchasing that home. So any way you can add value to that real estate agent, and also gives you an opportunity to meet other real estate agents. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody have any something else, or maybe something that didn't work out in your favor, or you just didn't quite know how to handle an objection? Ultimately, it really just comes down to being in front of these people and letting them know what you do. You don't even have to ask for signings. You can just tell them, I'm a local notary and I would love the opportunity to work with you. Here's my contact information, and do the same thing over again next week. That's really all it comes down to, guys. Is just well, there's a saying, it says it's better to be consistently imperfect than perfectly inconsistent, or inconsistently perfect. Okay. So just continue to make your stops. Pick like 3 to 5 offices, depending on how much time you have during the week, and introduce yourself. If you've already introduced yourself, again, just share with them a little goodie or something, or just stop in and say hi. You don't even have to give them anything all the time. Sometimes it's just, hey, how was your weekend? You know, if you stopped in there on Friday, maybe stop back in there on Monday, and you cultivate the relationship by, oh, how was your kid's soccer game? Or how was your son's wedding? Things like that. Anything you can do to build relationships. Relationships take time. All right. But like I've been telling Jamie here for the last couple of weeks, in order to make 6 figures in this business, you really only need about 3 to 5 escrow officers in your pocket. Okay. Real estate agents, they're not going to be giving you as much work as the escrow officers do, but they're still great to have in your pocket, and they're still great to open the doors to new title and escrow officers. Most real estate agents I know, and not all of them, but a lot of them aren't loyal to their title and escrow people. They bounce around to different title and escrow companies, or maybe they've got their favorite 3. So they'll bounce around and open their escrows with a couple different title and escrow companies or escrow officers. So always ask them, who's your preferred signing agent? Who do you work with for title? And make sure that you're approved with that title or escrow company. One of the tools that Signature Signings offers is that if you're not approved with one of these companies that you are hoping to do work with, you're able to run that work through our signing service, because most likely we're approved with them. There's a whole big long list in the resources tab on our members area of our webpage, and I can show you where that's at if any of you haven't seen that yet. Let's see where that's at here. Oh, did I mention we're at 14,000 people now on our Facebook group page? So that's freaking awesome. Thank you guys for all the support on that. Let me share my screen here real quick. For those of you new that haven't been here yet. If you haven't taken our vetting quiz, make sure to take our vetting quiz. All you got to do is go to signaturesignings.com and select option 5. And I'll take you there right now really quick for those of you that are new. Just loading up here. Here we go. So this is what our homepage looked like. This is where we cultivate all of our opportunities and our leads. If you're someone looking for a notary, you can come here and select option 1 or 2. If you're looking for a Ron, if you're a title escrow mortgage attorney and you want to establish an online account, you can select option 3. They can place their orders through our website, and then that's how we get those orders out to you. We provide legal document services. I personally don't do it, but we have a legal department that manages that. And if you're a brand new notary and you're interested in being part of our team or want to learn more about how to become a signature signing, you select option 5 and you submit that. And once you do, it'll take you to our vetting quiz here. And if you haven't created an online account yet with us, you can do that for free just by clicking the bottom here where it says login or register. And then once that's set up, you'll have access to all of our member resources in the members area here. I don't believe I'm logged in currently, so I can do that real fast here. Bear with me for just a second so you guys can see what that all looks like.
I have a question for you while you're doing that.
Yes, please.
On my profile, where do you put on there, like that you're a Ron notary, that you're experienced with this document, that document? I don't see that.
On the signature signings profile?
Yes, sir.
You wouldn't see that on our on the profile there. That's really just for the members only. But we use signingorder.com to manage all of our signing orders, and that's where we would see that.
Okay. Okay, I have it on there. Perfect.
And that's how we sort out where the signings are at and who's going to have access to those. And so in the members area that once I'm logged in and you click members area, it gives you this whole tab on the left side here.
Right.
And you can go onto the resources tab, and here you can take a list of all the signature signings approved title and escrow companies. I believe the format's not really as good as I'd like it to be. I need to have my web people look at that, but once you open it, you'll get the gist of it. You'll see all the companies that we're approved with. And I think there's a couple more that we've become approved with now that I haven't updated yet. So that's on my list of things to do. And while I'm talking about it, I'm going to write that down. So bear with me for a real quick sec. Dates, approved list. I've been looking at the message boards a little bit, and I've actually been corresponding with some of y'all in regards to the vetting quiz. And if you haven't seen it already, let me go back here. It says here, you only have 15 minutes to complete this 27-question quiz. You must pass with a 75% or higher. Make sure you only take the exam from a desktop or laptop, not your phone. All right, guys. It's important that you do that because the text is going to be kind of small on your phone and you have to breeze through these questions pretty quickly. A lot of people are argumentative with me about, well, you only give us 15 minutes to take 27-question quiz, but don't you want us to be diligent in the signings and be able to review everything and take our time with it? Of course I do. But if you look at the title of this quiz, it's called the Experienced Signing Agent Vetting Quiz. If you're an experienced signing agent, these questions should be firsthand knowledge. You should be able to answer it just as fast as if I were to ask you what your name is. Okay. There may be a couple questions that might throw you up every now and then, but this vetting quiz is what we use to filter out who we want to represent us and represent you and our referrals when our partners are sending opportunities our way. We only want the best and most qualified signing agents representing us. And that's not to say that there aren't quality signing agents out there. But we all need a little bit of work. I used to think that I knew everything about this business, and I was humbled pretty quickly one day. And I found out that I will never say that I know everything about this business. I'm still learning every day. But the goal is to consistently learn and get better, and never compare yourself to anybody else and how well they're doing in this business. The only thing you need to compare yourself to is how good you were yesterday to how good you are today. That's the only comparison you ever need to make about yourself in this business. Don't let anybody else's success or downfall get you down. It's not about their journey, it's about your journey. Okay. So if you don't pass this quiz, it's not the end of the world. That's why I do these free Zoom trainings. I want you guys to get out there, start creating opportunities for yourself, and live and learn. Make the mistakes. One of the things I learned from my good friend Tony Robbins here, when I did his 30-day challenge 30 years ago, probably, was to learn how to role model. Find somebody that's doing what you're doing or what you want to do, that's successful at it, and connect with them. Ask them questions. I guarantee you, anybody that's successful at doing something that you want to do, they're going to love to share the information with you, because in a way, it's kind of like first, it's flattering. Secondly, they love to tout about their successes. They like to share. I was showing Jamie, she was riding along with me the other day, and I walked in and out of the title company. I had a stack of checks, and I was like, here, just in case you didn't know that the money's real or not. And, you always hear about these multi-level marketing scams, and people's like, oh yeah, this guy, you got to meet this guy. He's a triple diamond, platinum, turquoise, whatever level he is. I'm like, show me the money. I've never seen a bank statement. I've never seen a paycheck stub. I've never seen anything. And, Jamie's on here right now. She can testify. I walked in and out of the title company. I had like, how much? 2,000 something, $2,500 worth of checks just from doing loan signings for a week. And so that's why she's here with me, and we're going around. She's doing ride-alongs with me. And, so if there's people in your area that are having the same success, talk to them, take them out, buy them a cup of coffee. Jamie and I met a little referral networking group that was local to our area, and there was a bunch of different professionals, realtors, lenders, marketing professionals. There was all kinds of different people there, and it was kind of fun. It was kind of like, those 8-minute dating things that they used to do way back in the when I was single. I don't know if any of you ever did those, but just bounce around from each person to each person. And they had a bar there and cocktails. So another great way to build opportunity, to create opportunity for yourself, is going to these networking mixers. There's also the Association of Realtors meetings. Here there's the Placer County Association of Realtors. There's also the Sacramento Area Association of Realtors. They call themselves SARS, which I think is a terrible name, and PCAR. And so they find out when their meetings are, county or your area. Start going to those, because you're going to meet lots of people. I guarantee you, there's not going to be nearly as many notary signing agents going to those as there are title, escrow, real estate, and lenders. And some of the most important people you're going to want to really meet with aren't going to be the escrow officers, but the title and escrow reps. They're the ones that are going to be at these meetings, because they're there to meet new realtors and new lenders. And if you can build a relationship with them, they're going to open doors for you to these title and escrow companies. And, you cultivate a relationship with them, let them know that you can introduce them to new realtors, and they can introduce you to new title and escrow officers. In the beginning, when I first started out, I would ask them, I was like, hey, is there a day you can maybe get me into your office where I can buy lunch? And they'd be like, oh yeah, Mike, not a problem. I mean, who doesn't want free lunch? And so all they had to do was send an email out to everyone in their office and say, hey, Mike from Signature Signings is going to stop by next Wednesday and bring lunch into the office and introduce himself. And who doesn't want free lunch? And I would just sit in the kitchen and say hi as they all came in to fill their plate with whatever it was I got them. And you don't have to spend a ton of money. I've spent as little as $50 before on buying a whole office lunch by going to Safeway, the local grocery store, and just getting a deli meat tray and a condiment tray, buying some mayonnaise and mustard, or just pulling it out of my refrigerator with a loaf of bread or some rolls. Easy peasy, super cheap. And they appreciate it. And it's one less thing they have to worry about, especially right now. You know what? Highland escrow companies, escrow officers, realtors, a lot of them, we're not doing nearly as well as we were a couple years ago with that huge refinance boom we had. They would appreciate a free lunch because I'm walking into a lot of title companies now, and they're all doing potlucks for themselves once a week and eating on the leftovers the rest of the week long. And that's what they're doing to try and save money, which is a great way for them to do that because there's usually 10 people in that office. So they have lots of the week, but there's just some good ways that I've experienced to market and create relationships to cultivate opportunity. Anybody else, anything they'd want to share about the vetting quiz or questions, concerns, why we charge $25, anything like that?
No, but I have to log on for a run. So thanks again, and I'll see you next week.
Go make that money, Nancy. I like it. All right.
Take care.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, if you're brand new here and you haven't signed up with us yet, get your free account. It doesn't cost you anything. You can have all these free resources I've provided on the left here. We've got Rachel's Corner, who's a good friend of mine. She's a marriage and therapist. I forget the whole LMFT, life, marriage, family therapist, whatever it is, but she's got some great information on her site and her pages on Instagram and Facebook, Therapy with Rach, where, mindset's a huge thing. If you guys haven't seen, I remind myself every day about how important mindset is. Mindset is everything. We're all just little goldfish trying to be sharks in this pond. So get your head right. If you guys haven't read the book, now it's escaping me all of a sudden. Miracle Morning. That's an amazing book. It talks about how getting your mind right the first couple hours of the morning every day can really set the pace for the rest of your day and how productive you're going to be. That means hitting the gym and sweating a little bit. 30 minutes of sweat. You have no idea. A body in motion tends to stay in motion. If you can get that sweat going in the morning for 30 minutes, all of a sudden your energy level's up and you're ready to go and hit the pavement. I read my affirmations every day. If you haven't made a list of affirmations of things that you want to affirm to yourself, like remember that guy on Saturday Night Live? I think he's passed now, but he's like, you're good enough, you're smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like you. And I have a whole big list of affirmations that I read every day on my phone. I've got a little reminder. So if you guys haven't done anything like that for yourselves, I highly recommend things that you want to envision for yourself. You may not believe it yet, but just continue to tell yourself, I am going to be successful. I will be what I want to be. Envision how you see yourself, not just financially, but also emotionally and physically, and how you want other people to view you, and also how you should treat other people. A lot of us, we get tied up on these keyboards here, and we're just become keyboard warriors. I see so many people say so many mean things all the time on different threads, not so much just signature signings, but just all over YouTube and Snapchat and all these other platforms. And let's try to be kind to each other, and that's going to really show through to your clients too, if you're being real and kind, and just share that with the world, and the world's going to share it back to you. So I'm going to get my buddy on here, Robin. He's our mortgage lender. And I'm gonna have him just give you guys a quick little market update. You may already be on here. Robin, are you on here? All right, hold on a second, just a second, gang. I'm gonna have him give you guys a market update. Ready? All right, Robin's getting logged on here in just a moment, he said. So bear with me until then. Anybody have anything they want to share? Any questions, concerns that I can help address? Don't be shy. Otherwise, all I'm hearing is that you guys know everything and are making six figures in this business. Wow, I'm impressed. You guys all are, huh? How about you, Rosie? You got nothing to say to me?
You're a jerk.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, who's calling?
Who's a jerk?
Oh, well, that person is not here right now.
These guys. Some people just don't know how to use a mute button. But you know what? I get it. We're not from corporate. It took me forever to figure out how to use Zoom, and I honestly still don't know how to use it. Well, so while we wait for Robin to get here, we'll just sit here and relax. Anybody do anything fun this weekend? My 49ers won. They kicked butt. That Dallas game was crazy too. And then the Jets game last night after Aaron Rodgers going out. I couldn't believe the Jets pulled that one off. I thought it was kind of cool that the NFL did Buffalo, New York, and the New York Jets on 9/11 and had that game presented on the day of infamy that we'll never forget. So that was a pretty cool, and everyone was wearing the FDNY hats. I thought it was a nice tribute. I'd be a terrible talk show host. Hey, at least I'm putting myself out there. Nobody else is doing it, right?
No,
Are there any documents that anybody needs help on that you're just not quite sure how to explain? No? All right, good. All right, oh, looks like Robin's on here. So Robin, why don't you give us a few minutes about what's going on in the market right now?
Wait, before they go, can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
I was trying to unmute me and I couldn't. So when you mentioned the documents, I had a signing yesterday, and one of the documents that was kind of odd for me to do for a signing was when they do the deed, the grant deed, or that goes, and then they have the
Preliminary change of ownership report.
yes, preliminary change of ownership that goes to the county, right?
Yeah.
So I know how to do those when I do them individually, but when you do them in a signing, are we supposed to fill that out, have the client do it? I reviewed it over with them and I said, but I wasn't sure what needs to go there. Everything else was on there fine. I told them this is your primary residence, so I know this is going to need to be checked off, so that's correct. Right. And then I had them sign, email it. Everything else is normal. But on that little list, right below all that information,
right?
What is it that's supposed to check off? Because what I did, I was like, you know what? I'm not too sure, and because it's
Are you talking on page 1 or page 2?
On page 1.
Okay.
So that was a bit confusing to me, and I thought I went over it with the client as best as I could. Sure. It just feels different because you're doing it and assigning for someone else. And does the company want a specific checkoff versus what? You know what I mean?
I do know exactly what you mean. And you know what? I will actually bring up a P-Corps for you guys in just a few moments, and I will go and I'll walk you through that. let's get to Robin right now really quick though, and then I will do that for you. Does that sound good?
Sounds perfect. Thank you.
All right. Robin, what do you got for me, my friend?
Hey, Mike, thanks for having me on.
Everybody.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. So this is Robin, everyone. He's with Gold Financial Mortgage Lending, and he does a lot of work that he sends our way, which I share with you guys as well, because he does a lot of out of areas loans. In fact, he's done a few in Lodi that we've referred out and all kinds of other places. But first off, Robin, thank you for your support and sharing those opportunities with us in our network. And secondly, what do you got for us? Tell us about the market.
Well, my pleasure. Thank you, Mike. So mortgage rates have recently danced in the sevens. In recent days, they've actually touched the 2022 highs before bouncing off and returning lower. I mean, it's obvious we're seeing mortgage applications reported lower, even reported lower from last month. But something to remember, besides interest rates, we have a little seasonality going on, right? With everybody returning to school, the real estate market tends to slow down this month. So we're seeing the normal seasonal adjustment there. Even in the face of higher rates and very tight inventory in many parts of the country, a recent home value report came out from CoreLogic, the big data giant collecting all this data, and it shows that home prices rose 0.4% last month to this month, and they're trending towards 9% price growth over the next 12 months. So I know that there's a lot of negative talk about housing, but housing, the investment is still doing strong. And so a lot of people ask me where the future of mortgage rates are going. I wish I had a crystal ball, but they're very closely related right now to what the Federal Reserve is acknowledging regards to inflation and a cooling of the labor market. Those seems to be the two talking points the Fed is touching on in regards to their future rate hikes. Since May 10th, some of you may remember, I said to remember that date, we've seen significant improvement on inflation reports. So that is one shoe out of the two shoes that need to drop for mortgage rates to return to a lower, more sustainable pace.
Right.
We're starting to see the other shoe as far as job reports go. We're starting to see negative revisions to the Bureau of Labor Statistics jobs reports, right? They're coming out saying they're adding 200,000 jobs, and they revise, oh, actually it's 150. Oh, actually it's only 100 over 2 months. So we're starting to see a cooling in the labor market. And so that's the second shoe to drop before we see better mortgage rates. And so that's the scoop. That's what's going on right now. And thanks for having me on.
Well, appreciate that, Robin. I'm meeting with people and they're saying, oh my God, we have an 8% interest rate. I'm like, you know what? Still, at least you're able to buy a house right now. People that are paying $2,400 or $2,500 a month in rent because they can't get into a house, they don't have the credit or whatever it takes right now, they're literally losing that money. But people, you're getting 8% interest on a house that when you sell it, you're still getting growth, just like you just said. Don't feel bad for buying a house at 8% interest rate. Feel bad for not being able to buy a house at 8% interest rate. In my opinion, you're going to have an opportunity to get out of that interest rate eventually at some point in time, and you're getting all these amazing write-offs. And because housing market's still going up, you're still making money.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm no mortgage lender. I probably shouldn't be saying things like that, but every now and then, I just feel compelled, to let them know, hey, I feel like you're doing a good job. And I'll reaffirm to my clients, don't be upset for making an amazing investment. You're doing a lot better than a lot of people are for, just by paying rent. So
Absolutely. Well said.
yeah. And if you can share something like that and give your mortgage professional some credit for getting them in on that loan and reaffirming that relationship, why wouldn't that mortgage lender or that real estate agent want to keep using you for those signing opportunities as well?
Absolutely.
All right. So let's get into what a P-Corps is. Thanks again, Robin. I appreciate you, buddy.
My pleasure.
All right. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. All right. I'm going to share my screen here. Actually, first I need to find where my P-Corps document is. So bear with me for just a moment here. Da-da-da-da.
You have a question in the chat too.
Okay, thank you. I'm terrible at answering these questions and stuff sometimes. All right, what is? Let me find my P core here and then we will get to the questions. Almost there, guys. Running through some escrow instructions here. So the other day, somebody in one of the group chats says, Mike, why do we have to know what a P core is? We're in Texas. They don't have P cores in Texas. And I said, well, because even though you're in Texas, you may not have a P core, AKA preliminary change of ownership report. You're working for Nationwide Signing Services, companies that are sending you signings from California or Florida or other states that do have P cores. So even though you're in Texas, you may not have one there locally. You're doing signings for other states where those things are in there. So it's important for you guys to understand that. So let's go over this P core and then I'll help answer some questions here. Let me start sharing my screen. So bear with me for just a moment while I do that. All right. So this is the P core, gang. This is everyone's abbreviated as P core. If you're not using the proper terminology in this industry and you're calling it a preliminary change of ownership report, while all your escrow officers and everyone else is calling it a P core, you're diminishing your rapport. Start affirming and using these technical jargon that we use in our industry to show that you know what you're talking about, know what you're doing. So most people call this a P core as opposed to a preliminary change of ownership report. And that just shows that you know what you're talking about. And you were asking what all of these are in part one, all these little check boxes are, and if you're supposed to fill that out or not. Let's start. We're just going to walk entirely through this whole entire form here. So the whole reason for a preliminary change of ownership report is because there's some type of change of ownership. And that usually comes hand in hand with an interspousal transfer grant deed or also with a grant deed. Okay, grant deeds means grant deed is a transfer of ownership. In some states, they use a quit claim deed. Quit claim, if you really think about it, sound it out. Quit claim deed. I am quitting my claim to this deed. Or grant deed. I am granting this deed to somebody else. Okay. These are change of ownership. And sometimes it's a change of ownership from yourself to yourself, because maybe you're refinancing a property. And my name is Michael John Rudkowski. Okay. Maybe I bought a property and it was Michael John Rudkowski. And then the lender for my new loan used Michael J. Rudkowski. Okay. Well, so for on the grant deed, it would be from Michael John Rudkowski, hereby grants to Michael J. Rudkowski, single man. Okay. And then I would go to the report and I would find the reason for the change of ownership, which in this case would be letter G. This transaction is only a correction of the name of the person's holding title to the property. Okay. It's important you guys read through these on your own and understand them. And these are the reasons why you're going to check one of these boxes. It could be more, it could be less. You need to have at least one if there's a preliminary change of ownership report, unless it's a purchase. Okay. If it's a purchase, you would skip part one, you would go to part two and you would check B right there. It says purchase and you would write the purchase amount in. But if it's change of ownership, which is most likely the most common one would be a transfer between spouses. Sometimes maybe a husband or a wife before marriage purchased the property as their sole and set as their own property. They were individuals. They were single. And then they married. And then after they got married, they refinanced the property. And then the husband or the wife, whoever bought the property initially on their own, is going to probably sign a grant deed transferring ownership from themselves as an individual or single man, or who initially took title as a single man, and is here now hereby granting the property to him as husband and to her as wife, husband and wife, as joint tenants or community property, or however they want to choose the vesting. Now, the question earlier was, do you have to check one of these? And the answer is technically no, you do not have to check one. If you're not sure, it's better to just leave it blank than to fill in the wrong box. But this is where it's important again, where I'm talking about establishing rapport with your clients. If you see that this transfer between the grant deed is between husband and wife, or it's an interspousal grant deed, you're probably going to check option A. This is transfer solely between spouses. Or maybe it's between domestic partners, or this transfers between parents and children. A lot of times parents will grant children their homes and all the equity in it, or grandparents to grandchildren. Okay, it's not very hard to decipher these differences here. So pull out a preliminary change of ownership report and just read through these and try to understand the reason for what the transaction is so that you can properly fill this form out. This transaction is to replace a principal residence owned by a person 55 years or older within the same county, yes or no? I mean, most of these are pretty self-explanatory. On K right here, a lot of times you'll see where maybe somebody's refinancing their property, but it's in a living trust. And on the lender's side, it's very difficult. I wouldn't say difficult, but it just causes a lot more headache and a lot more paperwork when they're refinancing a property that's in a trust. So what they'll do is they will do a grant deed saying XYZ trust hereby grants to husband and wife as joint tenants, and then they'll do the loan, and then they'll transfer the property back into the trust. There'll be a second grant deed. So while you're at the signing, they're going to be signing two grant deeds with two preliminary change of ownership reports. One, you would check K, the transfer to and from a revocable trust, and then you would do another one on the second grant deed to and or from the revocable trust. Okay, or irrevocable if it's irrevocable. If you guys don't understand what the difference is between a revocable trust and an irrevocable trust is, revocable trust means that one of the trustees is still living, or settlers. The settler is somebody that actually opened or created that trust. So if it were me and my pseudo wife, because Jamie's here, I'm going to say Jamie, Mike and Jamie, we are the settlers of our trust. We created the Mike and Jamie 2013 revocable trust. Once we're both passed away, the trust is no longer revocable, meaning our trustees are not allowed to make changes to the trust. If Jamie were to pass away ahead of me, I'd still be allowed to make changes to the trust because I was one of the settlers or creators of the trust. And that gets into the certification of trust form, where if you're ever doing a property or a transaction for a property involving a living trust, you're going to have a certification of trust form in there. And so that'll be something we'll talk about more later on. But yes, just get familiar with all these, but no, if you don't know the answer to these check boxes, it's better to just leave it blank than to check the wrong one. Okay. And on page 2 here, the most important part that you all need to fill out on page 2 is part 4. Okay. Part 4, they want to know what type of property is it? Single family residence, most likely. B, some of these questions are SAT questions, so I just try and ask them in the very direct and informal way, I'll just ask them, have you ever, or did the sellers incentivize you in any way with personal property or anything else that was not included in the purchase price? And they'll be like, oh, no. And what that means, because the county's trying to, this whole reason for this form here is for the county to try and create more tax revenue. Okay,
I have a quick question. I'm sorry.
shoot.
I had a buyer's package the other day, and they asked about that question, and the buyers told me, yeah, they gave me appliances, they gave me washer, dryer, and refrigerator, and I was unsure to mark yes or no for that specific question B.
Right. So all you have to do is like, well, was it included in the contract? Was it part of the purchase of the home? Or is that something they gave you separately on the side? And most of the time, I've never answered yes on this question. You know, usually it's all in their real estate contract that, you know, they're going to get the washer and the dryer and the refrigerator and all that with the house. And if they don't, then, and ultimately it's not up for you to decide whether it's yes or no. I mean, I can kind of guide them a little bit without telling them, you know, because honestly, I've never seen the real estate contract, but I'll let them know the reason for this form is to report to the county. And if they gave you washer and dryer and refrigerator that wasn't included in the purchase price, you're going to have to declare that value. And that's what that little $sign area is for. If enter the value of the personal or business property. Okay.
So what I did, I just reread it, and I said, I cannot tell you how to answer, but I'm going to reread it, and they went with yes.
Okay.
So
And they had to write in the value of what they thought the property was worth.
right.
And so the county will probably come at them with a small little additional tax bill or something. Again, I'm not a tax person, neither are you, none of us are. But I can tell you that that's what the whole reason for this form is to generate additional tax revenue that may not have been noted before. And you know, the county wants to know what type of property you're buying. Oh, is it a multiple family residence? How many units are in it? Are you going to be getting rent off of these units, additional unit? They want to know about this stuff so that they can generate additional revenue. Same thing with how great they think the property is. If they think the property is good, that could be a good reason for them to want to reassess the value even higher than what they had anticipated in the beginning, if the buyer thinks it's good. Again, I'm not a tax person, but that's how I perceive this form to be. And so
Thank you so much for explaining that. That was
yeah,
perfect.
does that help?
Yes, it did.
Well,
Thank you so
all right.
much.
You're welcome. So let me take a look at some questions here. Thank you, Robin. Why do I charge for membership? Okay, that's a good question. Thank you, Tamara. So honestly, I don't charge anything for membership. You guys can set up your account online at signaturescience.com for free. That doesn't cost you anything. And as soon as you pass our vetting quiz, we get you Fidelity approved. That doesn't cost you anything. What costs you is if you choose to invest $25 one time or $25 a month, is that it boosts you up in our rankings. Okay, we want to work with the best people, obviously, which is why we have the vetting quiz. Once you pass that, we're not charging you anything to become a member and to get signings from us. But for those of you that want to invest in us a little bit, we're going to invest in you. And so because of the one-time $25 fee, we're going to put you at the higher end of the ranks. You're going to be one of the first people to be notified. If you do a $25 a month subscription that we offer, that puts you again at the very top of the ranks. And it also allows you the opportunity to be automatically assigned to any signings offered through Signature Signings. Excuse me, my nose is itching today. So, and it guarantees you $100 a minimum on any signing opportunity we offer. That's either a buyer, refinance, or seller signing opportunity.
Quick
So,
question.
yes.
So for the vetting quiz, is there a guideline or notes that we can study beforehand, or we just gotta go?
Nope,
for it?
this is truly based off of your experience and how experienced of a signing agent you are. And obviously, the more experience you have, the easier it's going to be for you to answer this question or to answer these questions. And it's what allows us to know who we want to have working with us right now. And it doesn't mean we're not going to want to work with you in the future if you fail this test. It just kind of gives you some insight that, okay, I don't know the answer to these questions. Maybe I need to work on trying to become more knowledgeable and understanding of these documents, which is why we're doing what we're doing here today. A lot of what
We only
just
get
talked
one
about-
chance to take the test. Sorry, we only get one chance to get, oh,
You get one chance at the moment. And then I will be wiping out everybody's scores here probably towards the new year. And give everybody another opportunity, because I know that, you know, people, they may have failed 6 months ago, but they've gotten some more experience. And so I'll be giving everybody another opportunity. I'm not going to give you another opportunity a week from now or 2 weeks from now. I want you guys to go out there and get experience and become the best signing agents you can. And this is why I do these free trainings for all of you. But obviously I can't teach you everything that I know in a 1 hour session. But these questions that we're getting, like understanding a P-Corps and what it is and what it's about and all that, these are things that are going to help you do better on the test. And again, you know, I've had some kickback from people saying, well, you know, you don't want me to rush through a signing. Why would you make me rush through a test? And like I said, if you're experienced enough as a signing agent, you're going to be able to answer these questions as if I were to ask you what your name was. You should be able to answer it that fast. And if you know what you're talking about, I have a lot of signing agents that finish this thing in 3 to 5 minutes. And that's because they know what the heck they're doing. And those are the people we want to work with. And you can't blame me as a company owner to want to hire them above somebody that wasn't able to answer those questions. Because if this were your signing service, you wouldn't want somebody representing you and your other notaries and your clients if they couldn't answer basic questions about loan signings. And one thing you guys need to understand is, and I mentioned this before, is that signing services are not here for you. You are here for the signing services, okay? If you knew exactly what you were doing, you probably wouldn't even be working for signing services. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that signing services, they take a big bulk of your signing fee. And if you had the capabilities of working direct with title and escrow people, why would you be giving up half of your signing fee away to signing services when you could build these direct relationships and be making $175 or $200 directly with the title and escrow company? Okay. The difference between what you're getting and what the signing service is getting paid is the cost of your education. It's your opportunity to get some experience, to make mistakes. And that's why we have to carry huge amounts of E&O insurance. And that's why you get lower based fee as opposed to what the signing services are getting, because we have to compensate for the mistakes that you make. And we also have to compensate for all the overhead that we have with the insurance that we use to protect you, the office space, the admin, and everything else. Okay. Honestly, any respectable signing service is going to pay you $80, $90 per signing. Anyone that's paying you $65, $75 for a typical loan signing, they're definitely taking advantage of you. But you know what? For whatever reason, I don't know why they think that's okay. I personally don't think it's okay. I don't pay those low ball types of fees. I want to invest in people, and in return, I want them to invest back into me. And we're all here to make money. And I want to make you guys the best I can help you be, which is why I'm here doing these free Zoom trainings for you, so that we can all become the best we can and come together and share our opportunities with each other. Because what you may not know is that these direct signing opportunities that I'm trying to help you create for yourself, those escrow officers, those title officers, they have signings that are outside of your local area that you can't personally do. Or they also have signings that you're already booked up for that you personally can't do. And so you being able to share those opportunities with our network is ultimately the goal, so we can get other quality signing agents opportunities. You're making money because we pay you for those referrals for every signing opportunity that comes from you. Like I mentioned, Robert Dunfield and Tony Yegorn and Susan White Villarreal earlier. Signature Signings compensated them $20 for every signing that they referred to us. Robert sent us 1, Tony sent us 3, and Susan sent us 5 last month. And so thank again to them for doing that. And we're taking those opportunities and sharing them with signing agents like you guys. And so the goal is for you to build those relationships directly in your area, which is why I'm doing this, so that you can do that and eventually capitalize on those opportunities that you can't do by sharing it with the network. So I hope that makes sense. Is it best to...
One
You're
more
welcome.
question, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I love it.
I am about to either sign up for the $25 a month or just the first, you mentioned the one-time $25. Does
Right.
that include the vesting quiz?
Uh-huh. Well, I'm
Okay.
sorry, repeat the question one more time.
So you mentioned there's a one-time $25 fee, and then I saw that there was the option for the $25 a month, and then
Right.
the other one, I'm confused of where do I get the one-time $25 fee if that's included with the
Once
quiz?
you pass the quiz, you'll be given that option
Oh,
to choose
okay.
between the two.
Oh,
Obviously, if you're not passing the quiz, then we don't want to take your money, because we don't want to rank you high up in the rankings if you're not where we want you to be to represent our clients yet.
oh,
Does that
I
make
see.
sense?
Yes,
Okay.
so would I be able to, I'm still gonna take the quiz, but
Yeah,
would I be
take the
able
quiz,
to
take the
take
quiz.
the
And
membership?
again, like I said, if you fail, don't feel bad. It's okay. Show up here every week, because we're going to talk about new things. We're going to go over new documents, and that's what's going to help you to cultivate and start taking these challenges that I'm giving you guys. Start, and I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to everybody. Start going out and, getting out of your comfort zone and start meeting escrow officers and realtors and lenders and doing the things that it takes to not have to work for signing services anymore. Okay. It took me about a year as a brand new signing agent to fully get off of working for signing services. Okay. And again, like I said, the difference between the $200 that the signing service is getting paid and the $100 that you're getting paid is the cost of your education. And you want to get enough experience and opportunity through the signing services to the point where you don't need them anymore. And you've learned everything you need to learn to start working direct with lenders, realtors, escrow officers, and all that. And that's what these trainings here every week are for, is to help get you there faster, sooner than later. And also to represent whoever you're representing better. Make sense?
Thank
All
you so
right.
much, yeah.
Hey, you're welcome. Let's see. Somebody asked, I would take as much as I can to get until you are comfortable with doing signings. Amen to that, Rosie. Amen to that. People always ask me, is like, well, is $75 a good amount for a signing? I was like, it really depends. Like, I would never take that anymore, but that's because I've been doing this for so many 20 years, 16 years, something like that. I don't know how many commissions I've had. But if you're a new signing agent and this is what you need to keep the lights on or to keep food in your refrigerator, why the hell wouldn't you? In the very beginning, your mindset shouldn't be about the money. Your mindset should be about the experience, getting the opportunity to go out there and actually start doing signings, to know what it is you're getting yourself into. In the very beginning, I was taking $30 DMV signings, and I was doing $65 loan signings. I didn't care. I just wanted to get those opportunities. For me, it wasn't about the money. It was about the education and the experience. And once you start to get enough of those opportunities and those experiences, you're going to start realizing what your time and your energy is worth. And the better you become, the more money you're going to start demanding. So I hope that makes sense there. Is it best to accept the low signings to build relationships? Well, if you're building relationships with title and escrow companies, they're not going to give you low paying signings typically. When it comes to signing services, I don't know if it's going to really help cultivate a relationship, but it is going to up your numbers. If you guys haven't looked on some of my past videos, I've gone and what the background looks like from a signing services point of view of what your profiles look like. We can see how many signings you guys have done. We can see if somebody left negative feedback or neutral feedback about you. So obviously you want to try and do as much signing as you can so that I, as a signing service owner, can see that you've actually put yourself out there and you've got some experience. Because if I see someone in your area for a signing that I'm looking to get filled that's done 25 signings as opposed to someone that's only done 3, who am I going to pick? I'm going to pick someone that's done 25 signings over someone that's done 3, right? I mean, that's just obvious. So try and get
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question regarding that?
Yeah.
Okay, so my question, and I was asking that is because you know how we get into these, like for example, SnapDocs. They'll send you available signing, whatever, and I have clicked on so many.
Right.
So many, and I'm just like, when am I going to get a break? So finally, I'm just like, okay, let me just be even quicker. So I've gotten a few, but it feels like we're out there competing to try to get these, but we're not even given a chance as well.
I hear
So
you.
it's kind of like it's a double-edged sword. Try as you will, as hard as you can,
It is.
but you may not always get chosen. So I try to do the local marketing as well as doing with the signing services.
Amen.
So that's kind of why I asked.
Amen. So here, so I charge the one-time $25 fee, which again puts you up in the ranks. But then I charge the $25 monthly fee that allows you to automatically become auto-assigned as soon as you accept the signing. You need to decipher if it's worth the investment and worth the risk. Every area, I get signings for all over the country, but I can't say if I'm going to consistently have signings on for somebody in Maryland. It's your choice to decide. Maybe you start out with the one-time $25 fee and start seeing if you're getting signing opportunities. And if you are getting opportunities from us, but you're not getting them, then maybe it would be in your best interest to invest in the $25 a month fee, because as soon as you accept it, boom, you're automatically assigned. That's what these other companies are doing too, if they're charging. I know Signing Order personally, you have the option of subscribing for $2.99 a month, I think it is. And you become a premier member with them, which means any signing service that uses Signing Order, you're going to be up in the ranks for them. And I'll give you guys an example right now. And I actually did this for Jamie the other day. And bear with me for just a moment. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and go to a different website. I want you guys to see what this looks like. Okay, here we go right here. All right. So this is what I see as a signing service owner, okay? Jamie, who's sitting here with me right now, who I'm mentoring, she lives in 95661 zip code. Okay, that's where she's based out of, running her business. Or no, we said 747, right, Jamie?
Yeah.
747 95747. So I'm going to type that in.
Amor, dice Joa que yo creo que era lo de ayer, que te salió lo de ayer, de él.
All right, hold on a second here. Need to what is going on? Well, I must be having an outage on my internet at the moment. That sucks. Come on.
One question since we're troubleshooting.
Yeah.
I've always wondered, has there ever been a chart or a list that occasionally I hear that there's certain areas where they have a hard time finding signing agents?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Where is that so that we can get a general idea of those areas that are lacking to
I
know?
mean, geographically, it's really based off the population. Like, you go anywhere in Montana or Wyoming, there's hardly any notaries out there because it's a very sparse and, huge farmland area. There's parts of Washington and Oregon as well, where, maybe 8 people show up within a 200-mile radius. And, those people, they know where they're at. And they know what their worth is because it's going to take time and energy for them to get any of those places. And they definitely try and charge the signing services more money. You know what? If that's what it takes, we ask our client, hey, you know what? There's 8 notaries in that entire area. I've got one of them that's willing to drive a 200-mile round trip to make this happen, but they want $350. And, it's all about supply versus demand. And if the demand's high, but there's only a few notaries, yeah, they're going to be able to get it most likely. Same thing with national speaking notaries, Mandarin, Cantonese, Spanish, not so much. At least here in California, there's a lot of Spanish speaking notaries here now, but Vietnamese, Russian, if you speak those languages and you're a notary public, and we have the need for it on occasion, you're able to charge top dollar for those signing opportunities because there aren't very many people that speak those languages that are also notary signing agents that can portray exactly, more value. Exactly. All right. I don't know. Maybe it's I'm gonna try this again.
I tried to pull it up too, Mike.
Yeah, well, darn it. What the heck is going on here?
Regular page.
Let me look on my phone. I'm curious if it's their side or if it's just my internet. Yeah, I guess not. Huh?
Signature signings comes up at orders.
Orders.signature signings is not. It must be, yeah, because it's not coming up on my phone either. So it must be the website right now. So I apologize, guys. I'll try and next week show that to you. Next Tuesday, I'll make a list right now here, or a reminder, if you will, because I want you guys to see what it looks like. But ultimately, my point was, I was using Jamie as an example. She lives in the zip code 95747. And we ran through and we looked at the first page and there were 50 notaries on page 1 and there were 57 pages. That's just in the 95747 area code or zip code. I don't know how many that's, probably 1,500 notaries more. I don't know. A lot. Jamie was showing up as number 1 at the very top though, because she was paying for the premier membership through signing order, which is $2.99 a month, and also paying signature signings $25 a month. Let me guys help you understand something about being a signing agent. You're a business owner, okay? You don't work for anybody. You can say yes, you can say no, you can take vacations whenever you want to. You can work extra time and extra days if you want to. It's entirely up to you. But there's going to be costs of being a business owner, and there's marketing expenses. $25 a month or a one-time $25 fee or $2.99 a month. Those are for the people that are willing to invest in their business more than you. And because of that, they're going to get more opportunities or have the opportunity to get more opportunities above you if you're not willing to make that investment. And ultimately, that's what it comes down to. Okay. So depending on how big you want to build this business and how much time and energy and money and resources you're willing to invest into yourself, if you're not willing to invest in yourself, why would anybody else want to invest in you? That's really what it comes down to. So that's the point I was going to try and get to you guys with sharing what it looks like on my end as a signing service. But of course, my site's down right now, so I need to get with them and figure that out, because if I get some orders coming in, I'm not going to be able to fill them if my website's down. So I'm going to go figure that out right now. I appreciate you guys and all your participation today. And were there any more questions or anything that I?
There was another one in there.
Yeah.
Antonia asked, I am Fidelity approved through your company. Can you please explain what that really means?
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much for that question. Fidelity approved under signature signings means, one, that you're going to be eligible for any signing opportunities that we have that comes from signature or that comes from Fidelity, because Fidelity requires you to be approved with every signing service individually. When we do our search for a notary, we have to check the box that says Fidelity approved, which is going to filter out all the notaries in our database that aren't Fidelity approved. So if you pass the vetting quiz, but you didn't get your Fidelity approval underneath us, then you're not going to show up as a Fidelity approved notary. Fidelity will only allow us to use Fidelity approved notary signing agents. Okay. Secondly, it also means that if you are going out to market yourself to Fidelity to be a signing agent, to do direct signings for them, but you haven't met the 2 years probationary period that they have to work direct with them, you can let them know that you are Fidelity approved under signature signings, and you can run those signings opportunities through us. We charge a $50 fee per order that you send through us. But if you're getting paid $175 or $200 for doing a signing with Fidelity, and again, all we're doing is, you're only using us as a resource. We charge $50 to facilitate the signing, but you're still doing the signing. You invoice them for however much you want to invoice them for. They send us the check. If it's $200, we're cutting you a check for $150. And it allows you to get those Fidelity opportunities that you wouldn't necessarily be able to get being a brand new signing agent, because like, again, I said, Fidelity has 2-year probationary period. They will not work with any new notary that doesn't have at least 2 years of experience, and you need to have at least $100,000 of E&O. So it's kind of a loophole that allows you to start working direct with Fidelity right now without having that approval directly with them. That's because you're approved under our signing service. And it goes the same for all of the other title and escrow companies that I showed you on our list of members here. If you go to member resources, and then you scroll down to list of signature signings approved title and escrow companies, if you click on that, you'll see a whole big long list of title and escrow companies that signature signings is approved to do business with. And if one of those companies is a company that you're not approved directly with, but you still want to do signings for them, you can let them know that you're approved under signature signings and run that signing through us. You can just reach out to us, orders@signaturesIgnings.com, and we can facilitate it through and start getting you some more work. So I hope that answered your question. This is not hard. And again, these are things that will come up in document signings for loans. Thank you for reaffirming that, Rosie. I appreciate that. All right. Good stuff, guys. Well, we had a great meeting today. We definitely went over. Wow, it was an hour and 20-minute long meeting. That was awesome. I appreciate you guys' participation. Let's do this again next week. And I hope you guys have a great week. Go out there, make some stuff happen for yourselves. No one knows you're a signing agent until you go out there and tell them that. All right. All right. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.